I first met James Robinson in October of 1957 when he, his wife Nell, and their son Ken moved into a house across the street from mine in Greenville, South Carolina. James worked in the textile industry, and Nell was a housewife. Ken and I were about the same age and became best friends and have remained so ever since. We played together and did everything we could together. We grew up together, even when they moved to different towns and different houses. I went on vacations with the Robinsons, went to the mountains, and we went to Florida. Ken's father, James, was a large part of our lives. He was a fun-loving man and always treated me like his own son, and still to this day calls me Eddie like my family did. James is now in his late 80s, has been retired for many years, and is called Pop or Poppy by just about everyone. As he neared retirement, he began to raise gladiolus as a small hobby. This hobby grew into a life-affirming part of Pop's existence.
I started off with 6 bulbs.
You started off, of course you bought more than this.
But I bought a lot more.
Yeah.
What happened, when we moved to Hartsville by the carport, there was 6 little glads that had already bloomed out and they looked terrible, and I was going to dig them up. And my sister-in-law was there helping Nell straighten up the house, and she said, "Oh, James, don't dig them up now." I said, "Wait till this fall and dig them up and then plant them again next spring." And when I dug them up, I found those little cornmeals. I threw the big bulbs away and planted the cornmeals just to see what would happen. That was my mistake. That's when I got hooked on it.
That was Aunt Selena, wasn't it?
That was Aunt Selena. And then I started ordering bulbs from every place I could think of. This is the area here. This area right here is where I plan on planting. I'm on a 3-year rotation. I had the glads up in this area last year, this past season. I'll start here in a couple of weeks. I'll dig this and plant 5 rows. I'm cutting back to about 3,500 glads this year because it's getting a little bit too much for me. This area over to the right is where we burned last time you were down here. We cleaned that off, burned it off, get rid of all the excess grass and all. That's where I'll plant next year. Now, as you see, I have plastic on the baby beds. Ordinarily, I use plastic and then cut through it, make holes, plant the bulbs through it.
We're right now where you'll be taking the bulbs from, actually corms. And this is a storage system. And in these boxes, he has a very detailed numbering system and accounting system for keeping track of all of his various different varieties of bulbs, of glads. And he's got everything stored in here. And you've got all of them that you have are stored on this wall in these shelves.
Right, I can tell you in a minute how many I've got there. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 38. 108.
108.
And some of them, like I say, are so close together, it's hard to distinguish between them.
Yeah.
That first spore, that's the size of the floret when it blooms. The middle 4 is the color. The 4 here, in this case, means pink. And the 5 would give the shading, so it's a medium shade of pink. Probably a bright color, and the name of it then is pink diamond. Being dehusked, you can't tell about the eyes. So you dehusk it. Now right there's an eye. See that little dot? If you don't want that, you cut it out.
Okay.
You go around, there's another eye. And there's probably an eye under this.
Yeah, because that's where the stalk came out of at that point.
Originally,
Yeah.
right. Now you decide which of these you want to keep. Now that way that will only have one stalk. Well, it's pure pleasure for me. Yeah.
keep them alive and keep them growing and feed them and all that. I believe it comes right down to it. You probably owe them more than they owe you.
Well, I'm sure that's what kept me going during some of these bad times. Eddie, this box right here we're planting this variety is called Green Isle. Now this was Nell's favorite flower. It's a chartreuse green glad, and I think it's still pretty. It's one of the oldest ones that I'm growing. In Hartsville, when Shannon was somewhere around 5 years old, she was learning to read phonetically. And she was helping me, and she loved to help me plant my glads, and she was out working with me that day. And when it came to this one, and she saw the spike, she said, "Oh, Poppy, I know what that one is. That is Green Izzle." So this has been Green Izzle ever since. I never planted and call it Green Isle. It's Green Izzle.
All the many childhood memories I've had, the main one being Green Izzle. The story was when I was 3 years old, or around 3. I was walking through the Gladiolus with Granddad, and I looked upon one of them, and it was, instead of Green Izzle, I thought of the tag, and actually it was Green Isle. So that's always been a little joke ever since I was little.
Quite often as flower head forms, if you're looking against the sun, you can see it in the sheath. If you look, you can actually see the little silhouette. See where my finger is here? That's the flower bud, or the flower head as it's emerging.
Of course, another thing you were talking about last night is at the end of your season, once you've got everything planted this year, you just go ahead and discard, throw away, give away all the bulbs. Right now, you have no bulbs.
I have nothing left. I have given away all the excess bulbs that I had. I usually give away anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 bulbs a year.
Yeah, this is not near as easy as you make it look like it is.
Well, if you do it 35, you usually learn how to do it.
Pop has been raising gladiolus for about 35 years. Every year he prepares the beds, plants the corms, tends to the plants as they grow, and then cuts the flowers as they bloom. The cut flowers are distributed to local doctors, the local library, and Pop's church. He also allows family and friends and occasionally even total strangers to come and cut the flowers. All of the flowers Pop grows are given away. He has never sold a single flower or corm. He has given away every flower or every corm that anyone wants. From the simple act of finding 6 gladiolas at a new house in Hartsville, South Carolina, Pop's hobby has grown and he has spread beauty to thousands of people.